This is a sheep brain with the dura mater and the other meninges intact. There's a little tear, and I'm going to put a probe into it so that you can see the layering over the cortex. You see the brain peeking through. On the surface of the brain, of course, is the pia mater, and in between is the arachnoid. On this specimen, I've made some releasing cuts so I can move dura mater away from the midline, leaving the superior sagittal sinus intact, and that's at the top of the falx cerebri, which is the dura mater that dips in between the two hemispheres of the cerebrum. Coming posteriorly, this is the tentorium cerebelli, which is located between the cerebrum and the cerebellum. Again, I've made some releasing cuts so I can pull this out and show you how thick and dense the tentorium is. So that fits right back in between, and there it is. I'm going to turn my specimen over so we can look at the inferior surface. Dura mater is still intact, and I want to point out the large olfactory bulbs. This is cranial nerve number 1, and the optic nerves are cranial nerve number 2. So right above my thumb is the region of the optic chiasma. This specimen has the dura mater removed. The arachnoid, of course, is gone also. The surface of the brain, though, is covered by pia mater. We have the cerebrum, the cerebellum, the olfactory bulbs, cranial nerve number 1, the optic nerves have been cut here and here, but you can see a little bit of the optic nerves. They meet in the midline, and half of the fibers from each optic nerve cross to the other side of the brain, right here at the optic chiasma. So half of the fibers from this side are crossing and going into this part of the brain, and half of the fibers in this optic nerve now are crossing and going to the other side. I'm going to bend my specimen so that I can look into the space in between the cerebrum and the cerebellum. This was a space that was occupied by the tentorium cerebelli. So see, it's been removed. So now I'm going to pull it apart, and when I look in between, I can see the corpora quadrigemini. You see the two large superior colliculi and then the smaller inferior colliculi. I'm going to bend it just a little bit more, pulling the cerebrum up away from the rest of the specimen so that you can see the pineal gland. So the pineal gland is there.